Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make Swedish meatballs. I don't know if this is the most traditional of recipes, but it's the way that I make it, and I was in the mood for some Swedish meatballs, so I thought we'd do that today. All right, so it's meatballs. So, of course, our main ingredient is going to be our meat. So I've got a pound of ground pork and a pound of ground beef. Now, that is very traditional. That's generally the way that it's made with pork and beef. You could make it with just one. You could make it 2 pounds of ground beef, or if you wanted 2 pounds of ground pork. But anyway, so we got a pound and a pound. All right. Now, of course, like any other meatball or meatloaf, we need something to keep it all together. So I've got 2 eggs that I have beaten here. All right. We need some breadcrumbs. Now this is just panko breadcrumbs. All right. You wouldn't want to use our delicious Italian breadcrumbs in here because then it would be Italian meatballs. Now you don't have to do this, but I always like to put a little bit of milk or cream. But since I've got the cream here, I'm just going to kind of put a little bit in, get them softened up a little bit. All right. And you don't have to worry about really letting that sit or anything. Just stir it together. And put it aside. All right, so the traditional spices that you use is definitely nutmeg. So we've got some ground nutmeg, and I've got some ground allspice. All right. Of course, we need a little bit of salt and pepper. You don't put garlic powder in or onion salt. At least not in a traditional Swedish meatball. Of course, I said we need some salt and pepper, right? I am substituting some grated mustard. The original recipe calls for dried mustard, but I have to pull my entire spice cabinet apart to find the dried mustard, and I just didn't feel like doing that. So I'm going to just take, maybe about a half a teaspoon. We can put it right in our eggs. The dried mustard amount will be in the recipe, and I'll also put the amount that I used in for the Grey Poupon. Now, any good Swedish meatball is fried in butter. So again, this is delicious, but not necessarily low calorie, because we're going to use quite a bit of butter. So I've got some unsalted butter here that we're going to fry our meatballs in. And then we're going to make a nice gravy for it. So of course we're going to use the pan drippings from as we fry our meatballs. We're going to use a little heavy cream. We need some Worcestershire sauce, and I don't have it out here, but we need some flour. All right. So there's our spices. So the next thing is onions. So I've got a large onion here. Now you can grate these. You can chop them. We'll use our little convenient chopper here. And you want to get those pretty well chopped, pureed. You're not looking for any texture of the onion in the meatballs. There we go. And that calls for about a half a cup. All right. All right. So the next part is really easy, guys. All right. We've got our ground beef. Let me just give my hands a little wash. Just in case I picked up anything as we were doing this. All right, so I'm going to sprinkle our salt. So I've got my salt, my nutmeg, my allspice and pepper in here. Get our little bit moistened breadcrumbs. And we can get our egg mixture in there. All right, and then one other thing I did get by today is, because again, traditionally, this would be served with lingonberries. So I know they sell this at IKEA. We were going to go take a ride out to IKEA, but we don't have one really close. And what was there while I was hunting? I was hunting 11 to 7. And it was after dinner, and I thought would have went out and shopped a little bit, but I didn't think we'd have enough time. But anyway, so we ordered this on Amazon. I've tasted it. I think it's delicious. So I think when you go to IKEA, this is what they serve as an accoutrement on the side. And you just, do a little dab of it in your on your plate, and then you eat it. All right, so I'm going to get my hands in there. This is one of those, the meatballs, a lot of times you'll see in recipes, it'll say don't over mix it. But from every recipe I've ever seen of Swedish meatballs, that's not a problem. Mix it as much as you can. We want everything incorporated. So the point is we don't have to necessarily worry about over mixing it. I've even done this sometimes in the mixer, the stand mixer, with the meat attachment on it. But if you're making just one batch, that's no point of pulling that out and getting it all dirty. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you for a minute. I'm going to get this nicely mixed. We've got a cast iron pan here. You can use any heavy-bottomed pan. You want it to be warm, but I'm going to start to get it warmed up. And like I said, these other ingredients are for the gravy later, and we'll make that after we make our meatballs. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, we got our Swedish meatball mix all mixed up together. We got a pan here. I'm going to turn this up to about medium on this one anyway for right now. And let's start with our butter. So, actually I don't need that quite so hot yet because we've got to do some rolling first. But we'll get it hot. Start to get hot. All right, so we've got our meatball mix. I've got a bowl here because as I saute or fry the meatballs, when they're ready, I'm going to remove them from that and put it in there. All right, so there's our meatball mix. Now, depending upon, these are your Swedish meatballs. You can make big, gigantic ones if you want. You can make really small ones. I find that this 1/4 cup works pretty good. You can use a teaspoon as well, but not into this. Scoop it out and roll. That's it, guys. Put it on your plate till you got enough to get going into your pan. Ooh, that butter smells good. I'm hungry, and I'm really looking forward to dinner tonight. It's kind of late. We usually, when we first started, we would get kind of a really late start, but we have gotten better at that. But I had a lot of stuff going on today, so it's going to be a late dinner, but it will be worth it. Oh, I said that we're going to have some mashed potatoes. Wade will put the link to our mashed potatoes in there if you want to do it the way I do it. Oh, by the way, we did do the sautéed asparagus, but we did it in conjunction with another. We did braised pork chops, I think, and we had the fried asparagus with it. So I'll just have you guys watch me do a few of these so we can get them in the pan, because again, like anything that you're frying, you don't necessarily want to crowd your pan. All right, I'm going to turn this up now. And we can start to get our meatballs in there. Now we do want to cook these through because we're not going to give them any other cooking time. But we got a good little coating of butter on there. All right, so I'm going to continue to roll the rest of them. We'll let these fry up and we'll show you the progress as we go along with those. All right, see you in a bit. All right, guys, as you can see, our little Swedish meatballs are browning up. Now, I would have done more in this pot, but I just wanted to, be able to show you guys kind of what you're looking for as you fry them, all right? This would have held a lot more. So at this point, I'm going to continue to fry these. I'll add some more, and when we're all done, we'll come back and make our gravy. All right, guys, our meatballs are all browned, thoroughly browned and cooked through. You want to look at, because there's pork in there, look, 155, 56. There's going to be some carryover. 160 is the recommended amount for pork well done. I would usually go more for around 145. But anyway, so let's see, we got a few stubborn. Yeah, look at that, we're at just about 157. I think all of them are right around there. Yep, perfect. All right, so we'll put these guys in the bowl with the other ones. And we'll cover it, keep everything warm. Now, in the past, I always, after I made the gravy, I put the meatballs back in there, but I guess that's not a traditional way to do it. You pour the meatballs, the gravy, over your meatballs and potatoes. So that's the way we'll do it today. All right, so you'll see we got all our nice little brown spots in here. Ooh, that's hot, and the pan is hot too. Now, that's probably a little bit more than we need, but we're going to take about 3 good tablespoons of all-purpose flour to start with at least, and we'll get that all incorporated in with the butter. I've turned my heat down to about, it's low, I'd say, a high-low at the most. And of course with this, you just want to get that flour taste cooked out. You can brown it a little bit. I think I might put a tad bit more flour in there. Of course, it's going to depend upon how much gravy you want. I'm going to make about 2 cups. But that's looking good. Alright, and the flour smell, or that smell of kind of raw flour, if you opened up your flour bag and gave it a smell, you'll see what that smells like. And then once your roux is started to cook, you can definitely tell a difference. Alright, so I've got some beef broth here, and I'm gonna start to add it in. And as you add it in, it will start to thicken. And I'm still at a medium-low. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to go grab whatever this is called. I can't get a good grip on that pan. And you're just going to continue to add liquid. You could use water as well until it's at the consistency you want. I'll start to do that more. All right, we need a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And oddly enough, this gravy calls for half a teaspoon of sugar. And before I add anything else, I'm going to just add a pinch of salt, or 2, and we'll add some black pepper to taste. We'll add a little bit more stock. that's all there is to it, guys. You're just going to keep stirring that and adding a little bit more stock until it reaches the consistency you want. I'll probably like it a little bit more thinner. But you can see the lumps are starting to come out. So I'm going to say this was a good 2.5 cups. All right. So again, like I said, how thick you want it or thin you want it is entirely up to you. But that's just about done. All right. We're going to clean up, and we're going to plate it, and we're going to eat it. See you in a little bit. Hey, you guys didn't remind me to add our heavy cream. And of course, that's just going to make it all that much richer. Now, you could eliminate that. You saw how good that gravy looked without it, but since we're cooking for you guys, I'm going to make sure it's as good as possible. All right, you just want to stir that till everything's incorporated. You can see it's taken a little bit more on the traditional, it's lightened it up a bit. More of that kind of traditional Swedish meatball gravy. All righty, see you in a bit. Well, here we are once again. Best part of cooking, the eating. All right, looks delicious. It smells delicious.
Yeah, while you're frying the meatballs, going through the whole house. Gotta try the meatballs first.
Yep. Yeah, nice gravy.
That is delicious.
Yummy.
That's so good.
That little bit of, you got a little tiny bit of nutmeg in the background there.
Oh yeah.
Those are delicious.
Very good.
We'll try it with your loganberry sauce. A little bit.
Wow.
That's tasty. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, when I make, excuse me, so hungry I can't slow down. Usually when I make Swedish meatballs, we use cranberry sauce. Of course, cranberry sauce is one of Wade's favorite things in the world. So, all right, well,
That is good.
I would say they're delicious. And we've got some mashed potatoes, and some canned peas. I was going to make sauteed green peas, but we're going to find out that was next. Anyway, all right, I'm going to eat.
Thank you guys for watching our videos. Just remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.